Hello! What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Film Nerds. This is Jared Wackerly. I'm joined by Garrett Price, a.k.a. Dynasty Price, and Nick Whalen is in the house as well. What's up, guys?
Dude, how you doing? Are you doing all right after last night? Because I know it was your first Nerds pod. It was super late by the time we got back. I made you listen to all my crappy music. Are you doing all right?
I'm doing all right. I'm tired. I took a little nap today on my lunch break. So I'm feeling a little rejuvenated, and I am ready to go for these running backs tonight, man. I can't believe we haven't covered these guys yet, but I'm pretty pumped.
We were saving them. We were saving them for a special moment in time because I know Nick's ready to talk about them because I'm very interested to hear your take because I actually don't know which one's your favorite. So I'm actually very excited to see, even if you have a favorite at this point, you're waiting till tonight to reveal your number one guy.
Yeah, well, Garrett, I'm just excited that you're excited I'm on the show. When Jared introduced you, then introduced me, there was a higher pitch with you, and me was like, oh, and Nick's on the show too. So at least you're excited.
He's also
Jared,
here.
I appreciate it.
He's also here, Nick. Yeah.
Oh, dang it. I can't see him with the logo, but I see him over here.
Yeah.
Pink room over there.
Hey, you got to pull up Twitch on your computer, remember? On your other screen.
Let's see, man, those lights and
don't tell us what to do, Jared.
Yeah, you see my porn lights in the background?
I'm telling you, man, that's the lovemaking room, man.
Pimp. What's up, guys? Sam Wells is in the house. Drago, I am alive, believe it or not. But tonight we're going to be talking about DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins, and Jonathan Taylor, a.k.a. pretty much the consensus top three for most people in the Dynasty community. Pretty excited to jump into these guys. It's going to be a longer episode tonight. Hopefully Nick can make it and hold on with us here. He's got a hard cutoff later. So we'll see if we can make it. Any initial thoughts, though, guys, on these three running backs?
I'll just say
who's your one? Yeah, who's your one right now?
Me?
Yeah, before watching, do you have a one or no? I'm dying to know. It's killing me.
To me right now, for fantasy football purposes, it's Swift, Taylor, Dobbins right now. Okay. And I just think that all three of these guys, none of them are elite. And I always run into issues on Twitter when people say elite. Listen, elite is Barkley, athlete. Elite is the very top 1, 2, or 3 guys in the NFL. In my opinion, that's how I form elite. These guys are going to be, I think, mid RB1s to mid RB2s, I think, in their fantasy career. I think that's where they're going to live. So, I know we get excited every year about this rookie class, but I don't think these guys are going to be that outstanding. I think they can be pretty good, but not outstanding.
That makes sense. I agree with the fact that I don't know that any of these guys will reach that type of echelon of a Saquon Barkley or a Christian McCaffrey for fantasy purposes. I don't know that any of them will get there, but it's nice that there are so many guys that we could see as viable RB1s or higher end RB2s. I think we have a larger number in that group than we've had, and for sure from last year, and I think very similar to 17 and 18, the volume of guys that could be higher end contributors, which I think is some of what is building the excitement in this class.
Yeah, it's deep. But I agree with you, Nick. I don't think any of these guys are quote unquote elite. It depends how you define elite. And I'm in the same boat as you. Is when I'm defining elite, it's like a Saquon Barkley. It's like the top 3 guys in the NFL. So we'll see. Let's dig in and start with J.K. Dobbins versus Wisconsin here.
Is this the first time around or the second time?
I believe this is the first game.
Oh, yeah, 6-1, 7-0. This is the first time around. What are you doing?
Hey, relax. So we got an outside zone.
Not a lot going on there.
No.
Definitely not a lot going on there.
All right, Nick.
Well, if you go back to last night,
yeah,
I think he's trying to do too much here. And that's the thing that people don't understand with running backs. There's a lot that's going on playing within what's going on, for the play design, being patient, being creative. There's so many things that happen. You can see some running backs that get frustrated and they just try and do their own thing.
Yeah.
Here, I think he should have kept pressing outside probably a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. There wasn't much going on.
Ultimately, you'll see that with this game in particular. The first quarter, he actually doesn't have a great game, but you can tell he gets in a rhythm as the game goes on, and performs much better as he goes.
So, if you go back here.
Yeah, hold on here. It's being a little touchy. It's jumping back 5 seconds. It normally doesn't do that.
Here?
Yeah.
Oh, go back when he's on the blue line on that play.
Okay.
Okay, so here, I believe it's 3rd and 1. So I understand why he fits it up inside here, but you can look at this gap over here and B gap on the left, and he doesn't go there. That's where the big play will be. And right here, you can really see that if he bounces it here, there's a bigger play, but he just converts. I'm okay with him converting there because that's what you do as a running back and get minimal yards, but potentially bigger play was there. Dobbins is always under control and under balance. I think that's his best trait. It allows him to cut at any time. I'm not one that thinks he's an elite athlete, but I do think that he can cut at any time because he's not running out of control. I think Cam Akers can be a little out of control and not anticipate, but I think Dobbins is a quicker processor.
Yeah, I agree. He seems to be a very decisive runner too. When he picks where he wants to go, he goes now. Like here's a good example.
This is a much better run here. Go ahead and keep it going just a little bit further. So you see, he could turn this up outside. I actually personally like that he took this inside because you see 76 there has his man sealed, and then you have, I believe that's the safety. I didn't get a look at it ahead of time, but up at the top of the screen on the 40-yard line there. I like that he turned this up here and got yardage. I don't know. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. You could have went either way. And like I said, the quick processing, he read that block. The guy had outside leverage on him, so he cut inside. And I also like there when there was 3 guys, he at least tried to go way inside, or way outside instead of just running straight and lowering his shoulder, which I don't like all the time because give yourself a chance.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of unnecessary there.
Yeah, probably could have kept his shoulders square and just bounced with his feet, but either way, I mean, he got to the hole that he needed to get to, I believe, here.
Yeah, like someone like Benjamin, he spins a lot. I know some coaches loathe that because when you spin, you create unnecessary exposure to the football and more fumbles can be prone because you don't know where a guy's going to hit you from.
I'm actually a guy that does not like the spin move as well, and I even remember from playing, you get a little bit disoriented when you're spinning too. You lose that ability to be able to see what's happening ahead of you, and you kind of lose that vision downfield. So I'm not a big fan of spinning unless like absolutely necessary, forced. I don't really like it.
Why doesn't he cut left here?
Ooh. Yeah, he probably could have. 2nd and 6, so you're wanting to get at least 4 yards here.
My rule is always 3 yards for running back, no matter the blocking. So,
yeah.
But, I mean, 4 would be nice, too.
We have quite the comment over here by Weagle. Let me make sure I have a bookmark here. Able to power through contact to pick up important yards. Doesn't seem incredibly fast enough. Great lateral agility. Definitely agree with everything you've said so far.
Ooh, look at that. A slot rep.
Yeah, I think that's a good assessment, Weagle. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I'm sorry. I missed the video here.
You're fine. You went back. Just
okay.
keep going forward.
Yeah, the Vimeo is skipping more than it typically does tonight. I don't know if they changed something or what. Skipping by like 5 seconds each time.
Yeah, this next one's his slot rep. And
okay, I'll let it play.
Keep going forward.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's kind of interesting in the slot.
Yeah, good get off though.
Decent route actually.
Mm-hmm.
He is actually a very good route runner, and he's gotten a little bit of a knock lately for bad hands, which is not the case at all. He actually has very good hands, but it was because he had a drop in the football playoffs there, the college football playoffs, and I think that's sticking in everybody's mind.
Yeah. What have you done for me lately, right?
Yep.
I was gonna say War Eagle too. That's crazy. Weagle is short for War Eagle. Good push here by the line.
See right there, at least he tried to go outside here after he gets to this initial wave. He tries to cut left to avoid him. He doesn't do it, but at least I like the idea. That's the idea that you want.
He probably gets a couple extra yards because of it.
He took on half the defender, and that's one that you potentially could break. So I like that decision.
Jared, obviously he looks good in a zone running scheme. Do you think he would look good in other schemes, or do you think he's scheme dependent?
I don't think he's scheme dependent. I think he could fit into any scheme. He's that good of a running back.
What about you, Nick? You think you think he's stuck to one scheme, or?
Well, me, I think it depends a little bit. I don't think he's as much scheme dependent, but his size is a concern for me. So he weighed in similar to
that was a really good
Benjamin.
catch, by the way.
Yeah, similar to Benjamin, similar to Anthony McFarland, and those guys are thought of as third down backs or change of pace backs.
What did he weigh in at? 213?
No, 208, 209. They were all 207 to 209.
Really?
Yeah.
So
I missed that.
Did
one.
he slim down? Is that his playing weight? That's one concern I have.
The difference for me, and I think that is a valid concern. It's similar to what we talked about when we looked at CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb might be maybe on the scales a little bit slighter, but he doesn't play that way. J.K. Dobbins doesn't play that way, and I think that might be the difference. Now, granted, it's different at the next level. Guys are bigger, faster, stronger, but he doesn't play like a guy under 210 pounds.
Right. And I give more leeway, I think, in the weight at receiver than what at running back, where you're going to take the pounding. But again, you have a Philip Lindsay. You have guys that make it work.
What did Sanders weigh in at?
I don't remember.
Sanders.
I think Miles Sanders.
I thought Barry.
What did Barry Sanders weigh in at? No, Miles Sanders. They have a similar body type to me, so that's why.
I'm going to guess he's 215.
I have no idea what he weighed in at the combine. I'd be curious to see.
I think this is an important question here. Risen Phoenix says, where do you draw the line as a running back between taking what the play gives you versus making that extra effort to get that big play? Play dependent. So I'll answer that one first. I think that you have to pick the situation. If you're trying to make a big play when it's third and short, if you're trying to make the big play and you're losing yardage, then it's not okay. If you only get a couple of yards and try to make the big play, I'm okay with it versus a 4-yard gain. But you have to show that you consistently can make the big play, and you can't always cut back. That's where a lot of the big plays are, or you cut back or bounce to the outside. Someone that routinely does that, teams are going to adjust, and it's not always going to be there. So I think that you have to pick your spots. You can't consistently try to do that.
No, I agree with you.
Good run here.
I don't know that I would make such a big divider between taking what the play is and making the big play. I think as a running back, it's a little bit different than the quarterback. Like there are times as a quarterback, like you have to take what was given to you. You can't push the ball downfield in a particular situation. You can't, the defense just wouldn't allow it in that spot. I don't think that's necessarily the case always as a running back, because I think you're always looking to make a big play. You're always looking to make a guy miss. Granted, yes, there are, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. You got to make sure you get that first down, so you might not bounce it outside. But even within that, you're still looking to break a tackle and get through that line and get into the secondary and break that front 7.
5'9", 209. Someone in this chat said. That doesn't really worry me too much, to be honest. I think he plays a little heavier than that, but I don't know that.
Man, Chris Olave is a good player.
He just looks like he does.
This is going on. No, I agree, but I'm just saying if some people have concerns about the other ones, they don't have concerns about him, and I'm just like, well, I know how you play, but I think
Right.
his power was more underwhelming for me than I anticipated. I know there's a couple of games here at the end of the year, and we really focus on those. As Garrett said earlier about that drop that he had, that early in the year, he didn't get as much power. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's not always there.
Yeah. See, with Dobbins, I don't think he's necessarily like powerful. I think he's really good at using his body and like leveraging his body in order to gain more yards. But I wouldn't call him like powerful by any means. Does that make sense?
No,
that makes perfect sense.
He's a little more of like a slasher, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Olave.
He's all over this tape.
Dude, he's so good. He's so underrated, too. People aren't even talking.
See, I love how he hits it right here. He just goes.
All right, yep. I do
Now,
think that's
honest,
what he's known for right there.
Now, go back. If you're being honest, this is a huge hole right here.
It
Humongous.
is.
For sure.
Humongous hole. Look at that. So, like, he hits it, yeah, but that's a huge hole.
Yep, it is.
And he read it well to not bounce that outside.
Anyone
to cut
could hit
that out. But here, go a little bit further. This is what makes him special. It's these kind of things. I mean, he can make guys flat out miss him in the open field. And that's pretty special.
Now, okay, let me ask you this.
Consistently, too.
If he does not make that safety miss, I think there's a problem. I mean, that guy's 15 yards away. He's making a move at 5 yards away. I think most running backs should have made him miss.
Should,
like that play was like, it's deemed like a really good play. I think that's like kind of an expected play.
Really?
Am I wrong? A huge hole and a safety from 15 yards away.
Absolutely. But, and it might be different if it was just this play only, but that's something that he does on a regular basis where in the open field, and they're not huge. It's not the Clyde Edwards-Helaire where he's making these massive like juke spin moves. They're usually pretty subtle compared to the reaction of the defense and how bad he beats the defender. But I think he's just very good at, you mentioned it earlier, being under control, making a good quick movement, and then making a big play in the open field because of it.
Ooh, that's a hell of a run right there.
Yeah, like right there.
Best run of the game.
This is a more impressive run than the other one was for me.
Oh, for sure. This is the best run of the game so far.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because right there,
stiff arm.
Yeah.
Well, he showed patience. He like hesitated and then did that, and then right here he hesitates to add more yards. So
sit down,
hesitate, then lower shoulder.
Yeah, sets this guy up.
And then right here, even he a lot of guys would just run out of bounds. He doesn't, stays in bounds and gets another 5 yards. That's, to me, that's really good football.
And he created that hole there. There really wasn't much of a hole there. And that's something that I like to see, is the ability to be able to create as a running back. Because not everybody can create. You know, if you get stuck with a bad offensive line, there's guys that sometimes just can't make something happen out of it.
Now, I would also say that was a bad tackle attempt by that linebacker.
For sure. He was overextended, didn't have his feet underneath him.
Sets this guy up nice here, the safety.
So going back to what you were saying before, Garrett, I think that Dobbins, and I talked to this about Ray and with you guys earlier today, I think Dobbins utilizes his athleticism more than most backs. Like, he gets the most out of what he has. And I think he's a really efficient or effective mover on the field too. He doesn't waste a lot of steps. He doesn't waste a lot of time. And that's, I think, makes him a lot better, because I don't think he's the level of athlete of Taylor, of Swift.
I agree with that.
But I think he utilizes everything well on the field, which I compare that to. I think that, you know, there's other backs before that have done that. You know,
he's getting some wide open lanes in this game.
I know.
He is.
Another nice catch.
He also did against
here.
Clemson too. That's a great catch.
Adjustment.
And I know he doesn't run the guy over here or anything, but it's little things like this where he's lower than a defender. He does that pretty consistently, and that's what I mean by like using his body and leveraging his body the right way.
Yep. Pad level.
Yeah, they said Miles Sanders 5'11", 211. Dobbins
So
is
he's taller,
5'9",
about the same
209.
weight.
Yeah. Again, he's low here. He's the low man. Carries forward a couple extra yards. Just little things.
One thing that's not talked about the running back position in general is the ability to get better as the game goes on. Because when you're running the football towards the end of the game, that probably means you have the lead. And if you're able to ice out the clock because you're only improving as the game goes on. That's huge, and that's what you need out of your running backs. You need them to be able to milk the clock. You need them to be able to take the game over. And so when I see guys, I actually had a stat for 2018. I need to look into it for 2019. AJ Dillon. I know we don't like him, but he had like 75% of his yards in the first half and only like 25% in the second half, which was very concerning for me, especially for a power back. So I like to see running backs be able to get in a rhythm and get better as the game goes on.
How you guys feeling about this film here? You guys want to check out a different game or?
No, this is a game that a lot of people hype this one up.
It's just a little grainy. That's all I'm saying.
I gotcha.
I think this game's pretty overrated, for being honest. So
he got banged up too.
Well, he did, but I'm saying there were some huge holes and some bad defense, and people are gonna hype up his numbers here.
Let's check it out.
Be ready for me to talk about that. Is all I'm gonna say.
Be a jerk.
That's all right. Nice play here. Good balance.
Yep.
Again, he's low. He right at the point of contact, drops his center of gravity and gets low.
And to keep your feet on that's tough to do.
He does that all the time.
Yep.
It's probably the best part of his game. That and elusiveness.
I like its balance the most.
I love it.
Three good qualities.
I'm still. It's tough for me to watch this game as a fan. Like,
what's up, Kyle?
This game.
Who's over here?
Mr. Kyle. Dude, your interview with T.O. on your recent podcast, that was so good, man. I love that podcast episode.
I haven't listened to it yet.
If you haven't yet, go check out Fantasy Pro's recent podcast with Terrell Owens. Gives you some insight on Tua, too.
Dang it, I didn't finish up that write-up yet, Kyle. Sorry about that, man. I gotta do that.
Oh, yeah, I gotta do mine, too.
When do you need that by? Let me know.
While we're here.
Yeah. So, like, right there's not much I don't think he could really do.
Yeah, he slips.
You know, I mean, cutting.
Keep your feet, son.
I don't think he could have made that outside.
Keep your feet. All right, sorry.
Fastballing didn't really have to do much there.
No.
Yeah, that's another part of his game we haven't really seen too much here, but the film that I've studied, he does a nice job in pass pro.
It's
okay,
and I'm a huge. Oh, here's the play. Yep.
Here we go.
Oh,
it's a huge hole. Defense didn't play it well. That was a bad angle by a DB. Made it pretty easy.
Yeah, he gives the D end a little shimmy here at the beginning.
Okay,
still making big plays in big games. Oh, for sure. Way over.
Come on.
It's a big play in a big game. Let's also watch Isaiah Simmons, though.
Oh,
how much he closes that gap.
I know.
Isaiah Simmons
watch it from this angle.
That dude is not human, man.
Jared, come on. This is...
I'm talking about Simmons.
Okay, you can. This is not an amazing run.
Nah, I mean, he made a play he should have made. Like, he hit
Watch
it.
This end. You're going to tell me this end's going to make the tackle? Come on. No.
I mean, Cam Akers probably keeps it going straight there.
He did. I mean, he did have good vision there at the line of scrimmage.
That and just to see the cutback.
The cutback, the original cutback was good. The safety angle was terrible. That was easy. But at the initial line of scrimmage, he was able to get skinny there, and the defensive end had contained, so he had to make sure he stayed outside, and he got that gap.
Yeah, and
but I agree, the safety angle was terrible.
Zach Moss gets hawked there by Simmons.
Oh, for sure.
Well, I mean, only Dobbins runs a 4-3-2 or whatever the heck people think he runs. Don't think so.
What the hell?
Hey, it was pretty close to McLaurin's.
Cleveson, anyone else here naked right now? What?
I am not. I am not naked.
Pants are on over here.
If Rich was in the house, he's probably naked.
Probably. I missed what he did on that last play. I didn't even see it.
He did nothing.
Was he in pass protection? Yeah.
Yeah, I missed.
He missed
not a good angle. Nope. Not good.
He tried to cut and missed him.
Yep.
I did not find his pass pro to be anything special.
Oh, I think I started talking about it in that game. That play happened. I think it was inconsistent. There were times where he showed the ability to be able to. I don't know if he against better competition didn't do as well, or if he lost concentration, because he wasn't always consistent in how he looked in his pass protection.
Like right there, I didn't find him attacking. I found him to be waiting more consistently than I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Just go after the guy.
You know who does have great pass pro, though? My boy, DJ Dallas.
Oh, God. Here we go. DeAndre Swift, good pass pro.
Yes, very good pass protection.
DJ Dallas is good in pass pro, though, for sure.
I'm not drafting that guy anywhere. You guys can have him.
You're drunk. You
I didn't say that.
Enough yet. If you don't like him, that means you haven't.
Go watch the Miami game. Watch this Miami game. Yeah. Okay, wide open hole.
Wide open plays hole. For Miami. Every game is Miami when he's playing.
Wide open hole, but he's showing the ability to at least break it in the open field. If you were to take away a positive.
I mean, and then he turns there. Okay, so that's a huge hole, for being honest.
For sure.
Huge.
It is.
Everyone hits that. DJ Dallas hits that. AJ Dillon hits that.
You're saying Benjamin. That like DJ Dallas isn't good.
AJ Dillon would have ran straight into the guard's back.
and then when he runs, I think he comes back at an angle, and it's kind of a bad angle by that, because the one DB gets in way number one catches him.
Josh Johnson, Furious George, is better than DJ Dallas.
So you watch the one DB here. One is going to get him, and then the other DB gets in the way. 12 gets in the way of him, so he can't catch him. And then they catch him from behind still. The 4-3-2. Where's it at?
He's not a 4-3-2. We all know.
That's what people do. Look at this hype board on Ohio State.
I know.
Bro. I do think you'll run in the 4-4s, though.
4-4.
Probably. At a pro day, though.
No. I think on tape, he looks just as fast, if not faster, than DeAndre Swift.
Who ran a 4.48, right?
Good job.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He's just as fast, if not faster.
Weaving his way through traffic here, finding it.
See, I like this run. There you go.
Good run.
Get small in a hole, under balance to make that cut. That's a tough cut because he got outside there, got under control, and then cut upfield. That's a good run.
Oh, man. That's the one they called incomplete. They're after reviewing it.
Yeah, I'm just here for the Wayland takes. People just like how I hate so much.
Can't believe they overturned this shit. I'm an Ohio State fan.
Garrett.
What?
DJ Dallas or Josh Johnson?
They're both great.
Oh, he dropped it, Jared?
Yeah, but his knee was down as he had control.
Oh. That's control?
No, shut up. We're better than them.
This is like the best game. You guys are so hyped.
Yeah, I don't know why you picked this one, Jared.
I cried.
And I'm just like,
he drops this shit too. I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah, he had the two bad plays in a row.
Watch this game only. Terrible hands. Dobbins is a 1 and 2 down back only.
Shut the hell up.
You didn't see those first two catches. You are blind.
Ohio State guys over here.
Yeah, I mean Dobbins is a good receiver. You got to make that play though.
Yep.
That's 6.
I cost him the title with that.
I'm just here for Wayland takes. Don't feed his ego.
Now I'm just gonna do more. So I don't mind that there. Nothing there. He's trying. You know what I mean? He's sifting through instead of just running through a guard like Dylan would.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Nothing doing again.
No, not on him.
Clemson actually didn't have a bad defense overall on the season.
No.
Who?
Clemson didn't have a bad defense. They actually had a very good defense.
Surprising after they lost all those guys.
I know.
Wayland hate takes. Yeah, so J.K. Dobbins got banged up in this game, and he ended up coming back.
Well, do you want to go to another game then? I don't want to hear the
no
banged up. Well, he's down again.
Yeah, just something to note.
Another game. Go to another game.
Well, we have a hard cutoff tonight, so yeah. Putting your head down.
Back one more time for me.
Just for you, Garrett.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome. Are you going to say something about the player, or did I run it back for
No,
nothing?
no. You know what? No, you guys don't deserve it. You guys don't deserve it.
He wants to watch it again. This is amazing.
I'm trying to. I don't even like you guys. I don't even know why I do this show.
I'm just gonna. Whenever it's Ohio State,
Hey,
I'm
can you
just
run it
gonna
back?
talk negative about any player just to get Jared going.
Well, I'm waiting for my old school comp here for Dobbins.
Oh yeah, which Rams
That's
player
got to
is
be
he?
a thing. Every player, you got to get an old school comp from Waylon.
All right, yeah, a little Lawrence Phillips.
What the fuck?
He's a Rams
Who the
guy.
fuck
Just
is Lawrence Phillips?
Rams guy. I see a little Cleveland Gary to his game.
Hey, that was a good blitz pickup on that play. Blitzing corner.
Yep, good pickup there.
Now, recognition, yes, but wouldn't you guys want him to go meet him a little bit more?
Sure. He does not
good.
attack. He does not attack, but he had the awareness to be able to see that coming.
Mm-hmm. Just go meet him a little bit more. I'd be happy.
And you know what? Honestly, I wonder if he saw that because of the shift in coverage. I don't even know that he saw the corner right away. I think he saw the coverage shift in the secondary, and I think that's what tipped him off. Oof.
Okay, zone.
I mean, it's a solid hole there, for being honest.
Yeah, gets through it. Breaks a tackle. I'd like to see another angle.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he broke it. The guy was getting blocked too, but not bad.
Doing what he's supposed to do, right?
Right. I'm just saying, like, I don't think this game was that special for the numbers. This is like that Sony Michel game against Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Some pretty big holes.
Good awareness here as a receiver, kind of widening out away from the defender, getting himself a little more open.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm. It's first
And getting out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, man. Silver Sports left his 1990s Rams practice squad players at work. Dude.
Come on, man.
Shaboy J. Rich is in the house.
One job.
Oh, Jay Rich.
What up, Jay
Jay
Rich?
Rich has been crushing it, too. I don't know why he's talking about us crushing it. He's been crushing
I
it.
know, right? DDP channel's fire. It's all gas.
I love how Ray is on that show. It's amazing.
I love it.
This was good awareness again. He came all the way back to the opposite side of the pocket there.
Yeah.
To pick up that
Well,
blitzing linebacker.
So he's probably scanning frontside backer to backside backer, in my opinion.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
And
good
he got
pickup.
through that trash. That was.
Fields holding onto the ball. What do you know?
Are you talking trash about your franchise player?
Hey, man, he needs to improve
You
that.
have a franchise player in college? Is that a thing?
He's still
I
young.
mean, when you have Justin Fields in your Ohio State, you do. Oh, that's a good cut right there. Watch, he reads that block. See the initial lineman and that DN's going to the outside. He cuts inside of that. That's a good cut.
Yeah.
See, I just like the little stuff, man. I don't like these big plays. I like the little stuff.
No, I agree. That's where you find. That's where you can really grade a player.
Jared,
What?
he just caught that pass.
It's a hell of a
His
catch.
fourth catch.
Look at those hands, man.
Some
He caught
people
his
would give
fourth
him a
catch.
9 in catching just because of that right there.
I was trying to get your good graces again.
So
he can catch a pig
overall, I don't see any glaring hole in his game, and I am trying to be as unbiased because I know that he is not elite in any one area, with maybe the exception of elusiveness, but that's probably biased. But where do you guys see the holes in his game? Because I don't see any glaring ones. There's a few things I'd like to see. I think he could be a little more physical at times. I do think sometimes he could process some things a little bit better. But overall, like I don't see anything glaring that I'm like, ooh, really got to pick that up. What would
Yeah.
you guys say on that?
No, I completely agree. He's a very safe back. Probably looking at late round 1, round 2, probably round 2 draft pick in my opinion.
That last run was really good between the tackles there.
Oh yeah, another good job of getting his pads low through contact.
Broke a lot of arm tackles.
He does that so well.
Yep.
So, well, here's my issue. is what is your expectation for him at the next level? Because I think that's almost more important than we're talking game, right? Like where do you see him being in fantasy?
Like where would I rank him, or like what will his NFL role be?
Both.
I legitimately think he's a 3-down back that you could give 15 carries, 18 carries a game to. And I think he'll be in on most third downs. And I think he could be a 6 to 12, RB 6 to 12 in fantasy football for the early portion of his career.
See, I think that's the highest end that he could be. He could also be, I think, because I don't think that he's a great athlete, I think that he could be a player that's RB2s for his better seasons. You could see a lack of power. You could see him not running away from a ton of people, so he's not going to get the big splash plays potentially. And he gets replaced at the end of his rookie contract.
Okay.
So I don't think there's holes to his game, but you also need some special stuff to be a great fantasy back too, And I don't see anything that's special. His most special trait to me is his balance and be able to cut at any time. Like right here, he's under balance and be able to cut all the way there. Not all backs can do that. Right.
Yeah,
Cam Akers doesn't do that.
I think that pad level is something he's very, very good at, and that with that ability allows him to gain 2 to 3 extra yards at a time. So in line running, that's definitely going to help him out. He spots the holes quickly and he hits them. Of course, with Ohio State, the holes have been very big from what we've seen so far.
Well, all the ones we're going to see tonight should be pretty big between Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Georgia. All 3 very good offensive lines.
But Wisconsin's the worst one.
Great feel for the game.
Not by a lot.
But Dobbins has a great feel for the game. Don't you guys agree? Like, he's just a very solid running back. Like,
yeah, solid.
Yeah.
But that doesn't get me excited.
I know.
That doesn't mean,
I think he's low end RB1, high end RB2.
Right. I mean, he's my third running back. Like I said, I had those guys like, late RB1-ish to mid RB2-ish.
That's kind of what we said
RB2.
Coming into this, like we don't think any of these 3 guys are elite.
Right. But that's why I led the conversation that Garrett asked with like what the expectations are. Like, because we could argue we're in the same range. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think like knowing expectations is important.
I think for all 3 of us, it's going to be like landing spot dependent on where we finally put these guys in our ranks, right?
Oh, any one of these 3 could end up being RB1. Absolutely.
Right. So, Gary, are you looking it up?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking up right
now.
Yeah,
I thought Wisconsin was in the 20s. I thought Georgia was in the single digits, and I thought Ohio State was around like 12.
I don't want to watch this play.
Oh, is this the interception?
Yeah. For the record, I love Fields too. Got a lot of field lovers in here.
Oh, you guys are so heartbroken.
Josh Jacobs, Miles Sanders, or J.K. Dobbins?
All right. Wisconsin was ranked 15th in line yards. Ohio State, let me see, is 8. Georgia's actually the worst at 26.
Georgia.
Oh, okay. I have them switched.
So, but I mean, all still upper end offensive lines. It's not like, we're looking at Cam Akers or, Keyshawn Vaughn or somebody like that.
But most have this perception Wisconsin's like 1 or 2, and they have this huge, vast advantage. Ohio, and I would say you're talking about line, but I would say with Fields and the read option,
I agree.
That helps out Dobbins way more. Like, because we saw in that Clemson play, the D end went with him and left that huge gap for the big play for a touchdown.
Absolutely.
Look at this man.
If I had to pick between Jacobs, Sanders, or Dobbins, I don't want any of them. I don't love any of those guys. I don't think Jacobs is a long-term, huge NFL guy. He got a lot of touches year 1, but he got hurt again. He gets hurt a lot. Sanders played a little better than I thought, but he got aided by a lot of receptions. I don't know how long he's going to be a huge fantasy asset.
What do you mean by not wanting any of them, though? Because like all 3 of them are potentially RB1s, high RB2s. They're
trade them if I
all going to have volume.
You would trade all of those guys if you had them.
Yep.
I'm good with Sanders. I still like Josh Jacobs a lot, especially if they figure out how to utilize him in the passing game more, which was arguably his best attribute. So to draft a player like that and not use him in that way is silly to me. But
yeah, well, I'd like to see where Dobbins lands before I answer that. But right now, I would say Dobbins. I would grade him higher if all three of them were coming into the NFL.
Now, hold on. Before we get into this, Garrett, why don't you talk about that stat that you looked up with these guys and how they're ranked? Because I think that's relevant right now.
As far as how they're ranked coming out of college or coming out of high school, yeah. So did a little bit of digging. Jonathan Taylor of these three guys was ranked significantly the lowest. He was a 3-star prospect coming out of college. Whereas DeAndre Swift and J.K. Dobbins were both 4 stars, but they were both within the top 100. So we're talking about, I think Swift was ranked as like the 35th best player, so like just outside a 5-star, and Dobbins was at like in the 60s or something like that. So both are considered like elite prospects. Whereas Jonathan Taylor, coming in from a small school, not well known, he was a 3-star prospect coming in. So I did a little bit of digging into what type of correlation that might have. And as far as running backs that have been taken in the top 3 rounds, the hit rate on guys that were also top 150 prospects, so both Dobbins and Swift were, their hit rate, and I defined hit rate as either 3 RB2 seasons or an RB2 season and an RB1 season. Their hit rate was around 58%. Of the running backs that were able to do that were in the top 150. The running backs that were outside of the top 150, they were at around 22%. So you're looking at a 2.5% better chance of the guys that are coming in with that high school pedigree to be able to translate that to the NFL. Now, I don't want to take this as the gospel truth. I'm not saying that automatically Taylor is not as good as these two or won't hit because of that. But there is something to be said about a guy that has a pedigree coming out of high school, and then he passes the high school test and the college test, seems to translate better to the NFL. We'll see, but that's what the data shows right now.
That's good stuff, man.
Yep. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you guys want Miles Sanders or the 104? There's a trade over here. That's basically what it is.
Miles Sanders at the 104? Are you competing or are you not competing?
They don't list it. It wasn't his trade. It was just one that happened.
Oh, that's my boy Phil. What's up, Phil?
Yeah, I like Phil.
I'm not a big Sanders guy, so I would probably take the 104. I do think he was aided by not having a bigger back in there, lost some carries, and I actually don't think he's a very good processor. I think he misses a lot as he's running. And so I'm actually worried if he doesn't get all of those touches in the passing game, will he be that effective? I don't know.
Garrett, I literally just said something similar where I was like, I don't love any of these guys. I'd trade away if I could. And then you do the same thing saying you don't love Sanders. What is this?
I love Jacobs, though.
Well, what are we arguing here?
I do like Jacobs.
Give me the 104.
All right, let's get into Taylor here, boys.
It's our lot in life. We have to argue. It's for the good of the show.
Hey, we're on a time crunch here.
Hard deadline.
Jonathan Taylor.
Look at that pickup. That's elite right there. I'm kidding. It's not.
So Jonathan Taylor's a guy we've seen rise up the community discourse to RB1, I believe. At least that seems to be what's happening.
So there's something that I like called subtle cuts. This is a subtle cut.
Yeah.
Love it. It was A gap, quickly, couple steps, B gap, boom, processed, ran through hard, kept
carries
moving.
him 5 yards.
That's a really good run right there.
Gets contacted here, lands here. Love that.
There was another interesting statistic in digging with all three of these guys. Between the three, Jonathan Taylor was significantly better for most of his career against non-top 40 defenses than he was versus top 40 defenses. Whereas Dobbins and Swift were about the same. Or actually, Dobbins was quite a bit better.
Wow. So I'm going to guess he caught that, and then it got swiped. Yeah. So before
Yeah,
he
they
tucked it
ended up
all,
calling
but
it
man, that's a
incomplete,
heck of a catch.
right?
Yeah, that's incomplete. I'm gonna say this. I know people are all about the fumbles. To me, that's one heck of a catch, though. For a guy's not a catch, that's a one-handed just snag.
Yeah,
that was nice.
subtle move right there at the end of this
look at
run.
that little cut.
Yeah.
That's a bad tackle attempt. That 23 is looking straight at the ground, but still. So can you stop it right here? If you go back to the blue, like stop it when he's at the blue.
Yeah.
Okay. What? So it's a huge hole in front of him. You can see, they have the lineman leveraged, inside. So they're doing well. They have the inside sealed. Why doesn't he cut right here? Still, I know it's open there. It's wide open, right?
Yeah.
Kind of interesting. I'm nitpicking a little bit there.
I think
I nitpick everybody, so I'm an equal nitpicker.
I mean, it's kind of like parting of the Red Sea right here, though, too. Like.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah. But he runs through the arm tackle.
Yeah.
Runs through the arm tackle.
That little move there at the end on the safety.
Oh, that's sexy. I love that.
It's just so subtle, like you said earlier, the subtle movements. He's so good at the subtle movements.
And I know people are way against me, but that's why I really liked Ronald Jones coming out. Very subtle cutter.
Again.
Yep. Didn't keep his feet there, but subtle.
You're about to shut everybody up with Ronald Jones this year, aren't you?
Dude, I'm telling. Hey, he's the third best running back in that class this last year. Where's the other one at?
Hey, Garrett, is Nick breaking up a little bit for you?
Yeah, he was. I was trying to figure out if that was me breaking up or.
Okay.
No, it's me. I need to move my modem, I think.
Okay.
Move it. Oof. Clapped up on that one. What was that? What was that lead blocker doing? He just whiffed.
Oh, God, Kane. Kane's here. He said, damn, J-Wack is hot.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, jeez.
I hate you, Kane.
Let's talk about Dylan earlier.
I love you, Kane. Don't go on your trip. Be safe. Stay home.
Where's he going?
DC.
I wish there was another angle on that run because it basically just looked like he ran straight into the pile on a 2nd and 6.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
So I talked about this on the 4for4 pod, but Taylor and Swift, I think, have very different kind of philosophies with how they run the football. Taylor stays with the play design and makes subtle cuts off of that, where Swift can be very creative and make huge, massive cuts if need be. Dobbins can kind of do some of that as well, but Taylor doesn't have that. Taylor's more of like Adrian Peterson, where he stays with the play design almost no matter what.
Good jump cut there to get at least 3 yards.
And that's one of the things that I'm worried if he doesn't have good offensive line play, where for these 3, I think he's the most landing spot dependent for me. Because of that, I do think he has very good vision. And I do think he's a very strong runner between the tackles. But if he does not have good offensive line play, I don't know that he is creative enough in those first few yards to be able to make a lot of big plays. And so if he ends up with a bad offensive line, he will significantly move down my rankings. Now, if he ends up with the Colts, if he ends up with, a team like that, he's going to feast, and he's definitely the RB1 probably. I said definitely probably. You get the point. But bad offensive line play, I'm going to be concerned.
I think he's the best pure runner in this class, so I'm a little bit less concerned. But I do know what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure that I disagree.
He's the best pure runner too.
Oh, between the tackles, he's fantastic. The only other one that would even come close would be Zach Moss.
God damn.
He just doesn't have the raw athleticism.
Look at
That's a great
run here, but
damn. Go back. Okay, even this right here.
One cut. break a tackle, break another tackle.
Balance, hand on the ground.
Yeah,
we gotta watch it again. It's so good. I like the little cut right here, the line to go right here, off there. Then left. Then he's gaining his balance on the ground and made the guy miss.
Okay, all right. I hate to be this guy, but Nick, have you watched a lot of DJ Dallas? Because this is what DJ Dallas does. I feel like you would love him.
He did, like, he has like 3 good plays in his
oh my gosh, you're killing me. Oh, you're breaking
career, and like that's all you guys watch.
I don't know. You might be yelling at me.
No,
I've watched 6 games of his.
You told me to watch the Miami game. I saw like a couple good plays and some bad defense. I'm like,
bro, he plays for Miami.
Nick, you're cutting in and out.
Who is it? Duke? Who is it? The one game.
Florida.
Watch this game. It's going to convince you.
Florida.
Good cut block here.
Florida. Florida's a great defense. They were the 8th best run defense.
The big plays. It was like safeties that like, yeah.
You're hating. It's all right, though.
I'm not going to hate on somebody gaining 10 yards. Big hole. I'd like to see him break that arm tackle. But he usually would break that arm tackle, so I'm not really going to fault him for it.
Yeah, that's a big hole, so.
More
that's
often,
that's a great
times
tackle.
than not.
For Renas,
I was going to say, that's a great play to wrap him up.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, too, is I think his power is overrated a bit, though, too.
I do agree with that. I think we're in lockstep with how we view Taylor. I think you like him a little bit more, but I think we see him the same way for what he's best at and what our concerns
makes this guy miss. Subtle. Makes him miss.
like
gains another.
Like, he makes this guy miss, and it doesn't even look like he's trying to make a miss, but he does just by like slowing down a second. He slows his pace.
He does a good job of keeping his momentum going forward, which gains him yards just by doing that versus these huge devastating cuts. But he is one of them where if he stops his feet, it really hurts him a lot more. So I think he's learned to do that.
Do you guys think he goes in the first round?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am actually starting to lean toward, I'm not sure any of them are going to go in the first round. I think we're all going to be surprised.
I mean,
I think there's going to be a big run in the top 10 of the second round.
Especially with the depth of these guys.
I don't know that I would if I was a GM. As much as I love the running back position, I don't know that I would.
Unless they absolutely fall in love with
one of these guys. Would you take a wide receiver?
That's the hard part. I honestly wouldn't probably take either in the first round unless one just felt way too far, because I feel like I can get a very comparable player in the second and third round of this draft.
Are you talking me with a receiver?
What's that?
Would you take a receiver in the top 10 then? Same argument.
Probably not. I would. I mean, I'd have to look at my team, but I would be much more inclined to take like an offensive tackle. It's a good offensive tackle crop.
See, I would take one of these receivers. They have more longevity, and especially in today's game, they're more valuable.
Yeah, but you're Arizona. You can take a tackle in the top 10 and then take Higgins.
Dude,
start around 2.
Guys, how about this run though? Like,
this is a great run.
Yeah.
Although it does make me laugh a little bit how much offensive linemen, and this plays in a terrible example of it, but how much offensive linemen get away with that push in the back.
The Reggie Bush push.
Subtle move again.
Yep, another subtle
Gets
move.
north and south quick.
Yeah.
See, that ball security is a question with him, though. I don't like to put too much emphasis on it when trying to grade out guys for fantasy football the next level, you know. But he does carry.
But there is air there. You don't want to see air there between the tackles.
And I have noticed that on a consistent basis when watching him. He's had some fumbling issues for sure. So
it's better though the last 2 years than his first year.
Yeah, he'll need to clean that up.
I mean, that's just really good. I mean, for his size though, to be able to move like that and have that speed in open field, he's a heck of a prospect. But I still don't think he's elite.
I agree.
Steelers would be a great spot for him.
Absolutely. I'd have a hard time believing he falls that far. They're picking.
Jay Rich said it right here. People downplay his play because he's less flashy, and I agree. To me, he'd be a lot higher on my list if he caught more passes. If he had like a 40 reception season, I'd say he could be top 5 in fantasy, but I don't see that. He's not Jordan Howard bad, but he's look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, it keeps it tight to his lineman here.
That is a massive hole. To be fair.
Yep, it's massive.
But it was good vision to be able to see that there.
Whoops.
And to me, what I like is there's 2 guys there, and there's zero way he's not going to score. Where there's a chance Dobbins doesn't score there, you know? Dobbins makes that cut.
Maybe. The guy I'm the most concerned with having the nose for the end zone, though, is actually Swift. Even though he might still end up being my top back, he does not have the nose for the end zone that the other 2 have. He's not quite the finisher that they are.
That's like the first play where he tries to do too much. Like he tries to make this move to the outside, and if he just goes straight or goes left, it's better than trying to do this.
I like the patience on this run. Kind of pulls up a little bit, lets his guys pick up the block, cuts right off the butt.
The Herschel meter. Do you know who that is, Jared? Herschel?
Sorry, what?
You know who Herschel is?
Herschel Walker?
Yeah, hey, I reference old guys in the show all the time. You guys,
I know good players, but not.
I was gonna say, it's not that we don't know old players; it's that we don't know old third stringers from 1978 that just happened to make one play in one game in the preseason.
Man, I'm telling you.
Nick played a lot of NFL Game Day '98.
Dude, I played Madden '93.
You get a connected franchise going.
Dude, we should play some franchise mode something.
That would be fun. Not gonna lie. I'd end up playing it too much though. I know myself.
Well, I haven't bought the game. I haven't bought a Madden since like college. So like we're talking like Vic was on the cover.
Dude, I gotta watch myself with those games, man. I start playing it and then I play it way too much and I don't do anything else.
Right there. Subtle cut, makes safety miss. And it's just another day at the office. And again, like you were saying, you know, hey, I feel like you like DJ Dallas. DJ Dallas doesn't consistently do things like this. That's the difference.
I'm not saying DJ Dallas is better than Jonathan Taylor.
No, but he's not even in the same league.
He's my RB7.
Who?
Your
DJ Dallas.
What's in your glass over there? I'm telling you.
He is the best at pass.
I don't know where I have him, but I don't think I have him that high.
He's a very good receiver. He was a punt returner. Dude's a stud. I can't wait to
average in every category. I think he'll make a roster, and if someone in front of him were to fall, he could be a formidable fantasy player, and I would trade him at that moment.
Of all time, I agree.
I would trade him immediately upon having any sort of value in fantasy football.
Y'all will regret it. Y'all gonna learn.
Because he'll be like a
some of the best contact balance in the class. Whew.
Any 4th round rookie pick, I'll flip as soon as they have any value. Talk to me, baby.
Man, Purdue's got guys all over here. Look at this.
Watching Purdue and Nebraska. Do we have like a big game?
Back off. I'm not gonna put on Ohio
like
State.
2 scrubs in the.
I'm not gonna put on Ohio State where
we at least watch like Penn State or something.
Couldn't get a hole.
Look at this though. He has contacted, spins at the line right there and picks up another 4 yards.
JT is a dog, man.
See, like to me, Garrett, I don't care who the opponent is. You have to look at the traits.
The traits, I agree. But it's still more fun to watch like better competition.
Great patience on this run here. Just kind of throttles down in the hole, makes little subtle movements. His feet.
Yeah, right there.
Picking and choosing. Yeah.
Outside that block, 34 coming down. Like right here. Wait, there's a blocker. Let's make the block. That's Silver Sports wants to know if we got the Minnesota game. Rode the boat, baby.
I don't know. I can look.
Legal said he's really interested to see how we evaluate Swift. To him, he's all speed. No other moves besides that. He does have that dead leg.
He's got that.
If someone was playing him on Madden, it would just be the turbo button, and that's it. He's an elite receiver, though, so I think that'll be where a lot of his fantasy production comes from.
Ooh, look at that juice.
And I think that's why a lot of people grade him very high, is that receiving ability that he's going to give you.
That pressure cut, that dead
which is
leg,
important.
I'm telling you.
Very important.
Good. Dude.
We'll get into Swift here in a little bit.
This reminds me a little bit of Dre Archer. I loved what Dre Archer.
Dre Archer. I threw Dre Archer. I threw his
Kent
draft.
State.
I threw his draft party at Kent.
Dude,
Did you really?
Yeah.
Really?
I used to do like a bunch of show promoting back in the day for like concerts and stuff, and we did Dre Archer's draft party.
Really?
By the way, we have 7 games for Jonathan Taylor, but we do not have the Minnesota game. We have South Florida, Michigan, Ohio State, Iowa, Kent State, Nebraska, and Purdue.
These subtle cuts, man, they're good. Anyways,
Dre Archer had that juice though, didn't he?
I'm telling if I'm sad, I'll just try to Dre Archer highlight tape, and it just makes me smile.
He was nasty.
It's insane. How
Yeah.
much?
You remember Joe McKnight out of high school?
Oh, Joe McKnight.
You remember
Joe McKnight
Noel
was gonna be
Devine?
The next Reggie Bush. Man.
Noel Devine, yep.
Dude, his highlights were sick. His high school highlights.
Yep.
I played Noel Devine on like NCAA football online once.
For sure.
Oh, see,
Gone.
and this
See ya.
is what I think. This is the special trait that he has. So he makes a subtle cut.
The
It's a
breakaway
huge
speed.
hole. I get it. But then right here, those guys can't run with him. That's crazy at his size.
It is crazy. That
That's
home
better
run
than-
ability is.
That's better than Fournette. That's better than Melvin Gordon had, and they were thought to be special in college.
He's better than them. I mean,
Yeah.
he's better than Melvin Gordon. I never was that high on the Melvin Gordon, honestly.
Melvin had sick numbers his senior year.
He did.
That Nebraska game,
Numbers aren't everything, as we all know.
yeah, I know. He played.
Just never a big Melvin guy.
I like him.
Trade him.
I did this offseason. I got rid of him.
Didn't you pick up Eckler or something? Or no, that was Rich.
I picked up Eckler in one league recently.
I tried to trade Geis in a second round, 2022 for Eckler today.
So those two guys pulling didn't do him any favors there.
Dude denied it. I was pissed.
Oh, Akers is more thin than all of them? Oh, boy. Phil, I thought we had something. That's all I'm going to say.
Akers definitely has a high ceiling.
So tell me what you guys mean by ceiling. Because I think a lot of people think athleticism and they think ceiling. Akers doesn't have football skills like these guys have. It's not even close.
I agree. While you guys get into that, that was a very nice cut there. You guys can keep talking about Akers.
Oh, look at
think-
that cut. Starts
Why
here.
didn't
nothing,
he keep
nothing,
going
nothing.
outside though?
Yeah, he should have kept going outside. But man, to find that was something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
for
that
sure. But I
vision.
don't know why he didn't just go.
Yeah.
Why did he try to turn back?
Yeah, that's not like him to be indecisive.
Yeah.
I've been more impressed tonight watching his feet than I was when I did his eval. So
There's the fumble.
it's just nice to watch it again. Yep.
I'm sure it out.
Almost got it back, actually.
He did.
That's patient.
Bulldog. Backyard dog.
And I know people are worried about all the carries that he had, but he never got hurt. I'm not worried about it. This guy's
Well,
Nah,
Showed
I
he
don't
could
worry
handle
about
it for a long
There
time.
hasn't been any data that shows correlates. I know there's one guy that's been working on that, but
Well, and why are we worried about like the longevity of a running back's career? Like for fantasy football, like anything after 4 years, I'm thrilled.
it's juice.
like-
Yep.
That's great. So, you know, if he ends up having a 4-year career or a 9-year career, 10-year career, cool. All of that is bonus, but I'm worried about the first contract. That's all I really care about.
Hey, you guys see Adam Conley over here? It's my
say?
boy.
yeah.
It's my boy over here. He thought he was on an island having Akers out of his top 5.
I guess from like, what do you mean by like ceiling? I guess with Akers, he makes some plays that I don't think I've seen from any other guy in this class. Quite a few
Oh.
times with
What a
Akers, and
cut.
if he's able to clean up and get better as far as like being just a pure running back, with coaching and more repetition at the position, I think that would, I guess, put him in that top ceiling.
Another.
Yeah,
that's a little bit on the quarterback there, though.
Right.
Let me see that.
That's a
help him reach his
That was a
ceiling.
bad pull. Oh. I don't know what happened there.
that's a wildcat thing.
What we were taught is if the ball's put in your belly, you clamp down, and it's the quarterback's job to try to pull it out.
Right. But the issue I have there is you need to decide by the front hip whether you're pulling or not, and he's trying to pull it way outside of his shoulder, which there's an issue with that. That's why you extend out far and then his front hip. But to go back to the ceiling thing, to me, I think a lot of people equate that to athleticism. Christian Michael has the high ceiling, you know. All these guys have this high ceiling. Like, people talk about that, but what is it really? I like how you said there's a couple of plays. I can live with that. If you want to talk about a couple of great plays as a ceiling, that's better to me than talking about athleticism. My next question to you is this then, Jared. So you talked about his ceiling and he can learn to play running back. How many years do you give someone to learn a position? Because it's been more than 3 years now.
No, I agree. And I don't know.
And that's running back. That's just like running with the football. That's something you should be almost used to.
Right.
And he ran as a quarterback in high school a lot.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how he does in a pro offense with NFL coaching. Pretty much dedicate.
Man, another guy missed.
Your days to being a football player now as a pro. Because Akers does a lot of things that I like. But
Cam Akers or Keyshawn Vaughn. Obviously, the value is in Akers, but I think heads up if I had to take one to be Vaughn.
If it's equal draft capital, I have no issue with that. But I don't think it'll.
I can get
I don't
Vaughn
think
later.
it will be. Yeah.
That's probably going to surprise people, but I don't hate that. I like Vaughn a lot too.
He's underrated.
Super underrated.
Wow, look at this run here, man.
Yep, running through traffic. Now, cut this back. Right here. Cut this
in his end zone.
Cut in. Give a shoulder. You're going to score.
You mean like here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like right here even. Like, put your shoulder into 6. Don't be afraid of him.
I think he thought he was going to be able to beat him, but
I think so too. To me, like, don't run to get tackled. That's running to get tackled. But here he's just working through traffic. Woo. You know, I don't think it's a great run, but like, that's a solid run.
Yeah.
Because you get tripped up.
Let's turn this back to fantasy for a second. What is Jonathan Taylor's ceiling for fantasy football? Because I think that's one of my concerns. Is yes, I will say he's unequivocally the best running back between the tackles. However, that yards doesn't necessarily equate to a ton of fantasy points. So we have to look at the potential for him to get in the end zone, which obviously there is potential with that. He's got great long speed, and he is stronger than other backs. I still think I don't think he's quite as strong as people think, but he is stronger than other backs. But there is going to be probably a limit in the receiving game. I'm not sure that he's going to be in on third downs often. Is that a concern, or is that not a concern?
Yeah, that's a concern because receptions count more than carries do in fantasy football.
Yeah, you put out a really good stat about that.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's worth 1.5 or even 2, something like that. So, yeah, that's a concern for me. I don't think that he's going to have less than 30 receptions in this season, but the high-end running backs in fantasy football all have 50 or more receptions. Some of them were 60 or more. And that's how Miles Sanders was a huge fantasy asset this last year. Tons of receptions. That's how Eckler was.
Kamara's been that way before.
Tons of receptions. Yep. Kamara, McCaffrey. They don't have tons of carry. Nick Chubb had 1,400 yards, I think, and was behind Eckler. It's like, wait a minute, that's why receptions matter more, especially in full PPR. So for me, I think Nick Chubb area is near his ceiling.
And that's what he reminds me of too.
Yep. Now he has more juice than Chubb, but I think Chubb has some better cutting ability. But I think they're pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's the, if that's the ceiling, what's the floor?
Leonard Fournette.
So there's not much of a difference between the ceiling and his floor.
He's safe.
Fournette, his running wasn't great. this last year. He had some receptions. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But like bad O-line, he gets like 3.9 yards per carry.
Right.
Grinding through. That's like his floor.
So you don't think there's any chance that he's like a low end RB1, high end RB2?
Taylor?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Chubb was, right?
Well, okay, he finished the year as that, yes, but I think most people would rank Chubb as running back 6, running back 7, like in that range, and I think Leonard Fournette's typically a spot or two.
Oh.
No, sorry, I thought you meant like in a season. So sorry,
gotcha.
Sorry,
okay,
that's where I took it. Like in like
I just tried to put a football helmet on.
Got it. Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, those are like 2 top 10 backs, so I don't know how that's much of a floor.
I just tried to put.
That was way too nice
on.
about it. I should have been way more mean.
Did not go well.
What did you do, Jared?
I tried to put my football helmet on that I have right here, and I forgot my head is tiny, or at least my head must have grown. I don't know because I could not. Dude, do you guys remember putting football helmets on? How bad your head would hurt for weeks?
Yeah,
for like the first couple weeks. That was the worst. In my high school team, they would not let you take your freaking helmet on. Off during the whole practice too. Like it's one of them.
Over here to Phil. Akers is a converted quarterback. He's just going to improve a lot of dog in him. We know that. We were just talking about that. He played some, quarterback in high school. He ran a lot, and he's played running back for 3 years. I think running back is a thing you kind of know or you don't. You can learn some, but after 3 years and some in high school, how much is he going to improve? I think it's very different than a receiver. So, yeah, we talked about that.
All right, boys. On to DeAndre Swift.
Oh, man. Show his dad. Just show his dad. Let's see those babies.
Running back.
Dude's juiced.
Georgia.
He's huge.
We'll get into the Kentucky game here first.
Like he says something like, yes, Mr. Swift. Like you don't even say anything back.
Yep.
Like I want him to break that. Like he makes a cut at the line here. Outside zone. Little cut. Broken tackle. But break that one.
My initial thoughts on Swift before we get into it here is like I think he gets taken down kind of easily when he gets into contact.
Yep.
Very elusive though in the open field.
Mm-hmm. To me, I think he's more like Miles Sanders-ish too, you know. But I think he can read things more. He's not as undisciplined as Miles is.
Weagle's all about this turbo with Swift. He said he would have broken it if he had any other moves than turbo.
I can't wait to see him have that dead leg, that pressure cut. I'm like,
He did
this
it
is
a
the
lot.
Kentucky.
He did a lot more as a sophomore than he did this year. I didn't see him utilize it nearly as much.
Yeah, he's got that quick analog stick to the left or right.
Like, was that sophomore game, the Kentucky game, where right there?
He tried.
Like that would work his year before. He didn't work this year.
He still gets 3-4 yards. He gets stood up there in the NFL, though.
The other thing that I wanted to talk about quickly with Taylor before we leave, when you make those subtle cuts, he kept his shoulders square, which I think adds to his yards instead of trying to make a cut and going, anything sideways. Mm-hmm. So that way, if he makes the cut, he can still lower his pad level and keep his balance more too. I think that's part of his game that's a little underrated.
Sell me here, Mr. Obi-Wan Swift.
All right. So, I mean, basically we have, I mean, he got what's blocked there. I don't think that runs anything special, and Kentucky's not the most formidable opponent. But he did what he was supposed to do. Spun to get another yard or two.
One thing he does a little bit of the Le'Veon Bell stuff where he changes up his speeds, hesitates,
He varies it
behind. He does that. It's very different than like Taylor.
Good catch here.
I'm not sure they could be any more different as in terms of a runner.
Yeah, their style is very different. Dobbins and Swift are more similar stylistically than Taylor is to either one of them.
Oh,
Mr. Pickens.
Oh, my man.
It's my man, not yours.
AKA Keenan Allen.
He could be both our guy, Nick.
Dude. I did not know you were on my boy Preston Williams last year, too. Man.
Oh, yeah. I was on him early. I know. I'm glad to see we were both on that train. I would like to see him get a little lower here.
Yep. And I think part of it is like when this would happen with Taylor, his legs would still be pumping, and you would get through that. And I don't see that with Swift.
That's one of the cons I have with him. It seems just he's not a great inline runner.
No, I think he can be almost more of an Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's electric.
Okay.
It's going to be so situation dependent.
Now, once again, you know, we see more of a man blocking technique here. Do you think he's scheme dependent, or do you think he's going to be fine in a zone, a gap? Doesn't matter.
I could be fine in both.
Okay.
It's a good cut.
Good cut.
And he anticipated because he wasn't reading that block. He was reading the guy behind, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Made that cut. Boom. See ya. Now, I knew he didn't have special speed, you know.
I actually was pleasantly surprised with his time of a 4.48.
Oh, for sure.
That was actually slightly higher than I thought. I thought he was going to be in the low 4.5s.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think based on the contest, Garrett, we knew that me and Jared were the ones that would know more about speed than you.
Oh, my gosh. You guys had Denzel Mims at like a 4.6. I don't even want to hear it.
Man.
I mean, we won the competition, though.
Overall, we crushed it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I won the players that matter.
Oh, okay.
What?
We won't talk about who lost that one.
No, or both of them.
Is that Kane and Zach?
I hope he's on here. I don't think he is. I hope he's on here, though. You lost wide receivers and running backs.
Was that Kane
it was his
or
idea,
Zach?
too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I love it.
You called him out.
Ooh.
I don't care.
Ooh, look at the balance on that one.
They don't care.
Oh. Oh, that's a play.
That's a beautiful play. And once again, like I even though I'm not a big fan of the spin move, it was kind of dictated for him there. Like, that's what he had to do to get out of that tackle. So I have no issue with it. And the fact that he was still able to keep his eyes downfield, like look how quickly he turns his head to get his eyes back downfield. Like,
and kept his balance.
It's a really good play.
Keeping your balance on that. Keeping your balance on that is awesome.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, you got two guys hitting you, you're spinning, you're getting hit, and you keep your balance, and then you convert that. That's a pretty good play. Now, again, I don't think it was an amazing play, though. There's pretty bad tackle attempts, really, for being honest.
For sure. But this is your average running back is not making this play.
No. DJ Dallas isn't making that play.
I knew it. It's a good thing we agree on Vaughn, or I would just hate you.
No, I think DJ Dallas would make that play.
Good subtle movements on
because he spins.
This run here.
Dallas spins.
Spinner.
Yeah.
Good job to make this initial guy miss in the backfield by taking a.
Yep. And that's the one thing I like with Swift. I think he's a quick processor to read blocks and to anticipate.
Very much so.
You want to talk about athleticism? Cam Akers has way more athleticism than Swift. Agreed. But in terms of anticipating and reading things, Swift is more of a football player than Akers. Go back. Fakes outside, inside, then goes outside.
All right, where's my boy Weagle?
What?
Yeah, I was going to say, where's the turbo guy?
Yeah. Come on, Weagle. See ya. And then carries that guy for some yards.
Yeah.
Dude.
That was a sexy run.
I like this one too. Look at the confidence he has. He's like, nope, I'm going to beat you to the corner, so cutting inside. That takes some processing. You got to quickly figure that one out.
I want to see his dad.
He said, okay, that was a good one.
How's he get through that? They run into each other or something here?
Well, I think he gets small in a hole too, which I think is important. Not all guys can get small.
The backside linebacker on that play was literally backpedaling. Oh my gosh, that sickens me.
I like the patience here on this run. And letting his
one thing I thought was interesting, I think that helped Swift a little bit. He measured in shorter than I thought.
Yeah. What was it? 5'8",
5'9"?
Yeah. It was 5'8" and something.
Yeah, it was shorter than I thought. Oh, Pickens.
Here we go.
Behind him, adjust to the ball.
Good vision there to see the hole.
Why is he cut left here? Go back. Pause at the line. Why doesn't he stay behind that left tackle and that tight end? And why is he trying to cut between 31 and 27 here?
I'm actually surprised he didn't bounce that outside, to be honest.
Well, he kind of tries to here.
No, completely outside.
Oh,
that
yeah.
27 was committed. He lost containment.
I would have liked to see him take a little skinnier here to the tackle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't know why.
See, I would have bounced that. Look at the weight. He 27 is bouncing inside. He's got all his weight going that direction. I would have bounced that outside. I think he had enough speed to get the corner.
Ooh.
Do you like the way he waits there?
That's this hesitation, though. And
Yeah.
You can see the burst. You can see that's some pretty good athleticism. Hesitate.
Yep, acceleration. He has very good acceleration.
He started off slow in this game. He's growing on me. Oh,
There's your nose for the end zone, Garrett.
I tell you what. Good thing you had that turbo to get through that.
Yeah,
Just
good pad level to get
Yeah.
the leverage on these guys, and then
Yeah, he wasn't dead legs there. I wonder if he put his arm down or if he just kept his feet.
They're on skates. That defensive line, they're on skates.
No,
He
looks like
kept
he
his
just kept his feet.
6.
That was a good one.
Oh yeah, boy's electric, man. I think these are 3 different running backs.
Hey, Phil, I'll give you another one. How about Maurice Jones-Drew? He says notable workhorse running backs 5'8" or less. Sanders, Ray Rice, Maurice Jones-Drew.
Yeah,
He was like 5'5".
He's little.
I love Maurice Jones-Drew in the.
Oh, he was so good.
NFL Network.
When I interned at Montana State for their spring ball, his offensive coordinator at UCLA was the quarterback coach at Montana State. So I just like picked his brain forever. He told me about Maurice Jones-Drew stories, and then beating USC. It was pretty cool. Or
That is cool.
USC.
Massive humanity. So we are moving on here to South Carolina. Posted a pretty good line in this game.
Pass protection in the last game.
No,
I want to get a chance to talk about that because I do think he's one of the best in this class.
I agree with that.
And I know before anybody says like, yes, this is a fantasy football thing, and pass protection does not get you fantasy football points, but it does get you on the field,
Right.
And you need to be on the field to get points.
Well, I think it does get you points. If you're in a pass pro and then you leak out, you get some receptions there.
For sure, that's true.
Right, it leads to opportunity, is what we're saying.
Oh,
Whoa! Whip it. Whoop, whoop.
Pretty good coverage there, honestly.
well,
really was.
and he comes back negative instead of drifting upfield here. You know,
Yeah.
make sure the linebacker doesn't undercut that. The linebacker's like disoriented and then makes the play because he got faked out in the first cut, not the second cut.
Right.
Yeah, Swift is a really good hands catcher. He's definitely going to give you that receiving ability.
He is the best hands in the class, I would say. Him and Allaire.
Yeah,
I was gonna say Clyde Edwards-Helaire is right there as well.
yeah, I think Hilaire is a little better just because I think he's a better route runner too. And he's just that man.
Well, just in terms of hands.
Yeah.
Though you put those 4 together, they're all different backs.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like Taylor, Swift, and Dobbins, they're all 3 different stylistically.
Yep. Hilaire's like way more electric, make and miss. Dobbins is a little bit more that way. And then it goes Swift, and then it goes Taylor.
What's your flavor? Okay, we're going to get a better angle at this.
I like Rocky Road.
It's a good run here.
It's not even true. I actually don't like Rocky Road.
Why would you like Rocky Road? Bad. So
Now,
read
Moose
that.
Tracks. I do
Read
like Moose
that.
Tracks.
See,
I like
that's a
to
lot
see
of
him-
processing, I think.
Yeah, I'd like
It's
to
a
see
big
him make
hole.
this guy miss. But
Yep. Like I don't think see like Taylor does that subtle jump cut and breaks that tackle, in my opinion.
Silver Sports, you're absolutely right. Yeah, Darwin Thompson did not get to play because he could not pass block. And actually, Nick's boy, Ronald Jones, that was another thing that kind of kept him off the field. Bruce Arians didn't like his pass blocking or pass protection, so he didn't get on the field as much as he probably should have.
I had so many debates on Darwin Thompson this last offseason.
Did you?
Because I was pumping up Damian Williams, who was the best back in the end. Gosh, so many people want Darwin Thompson to be something. I just didn't see anything good on tape, even as a runner in college. There's the nose for the end zone. Come on.
Yeah, there it is.
There. Get through there. I know that's tough, though. There's 4.
It is tough. It is
yeah,
tough.
like, what do we want him to do here?
Honestly, when I'm talking about a nose for the end zone, what I really mean is like those big plays. Like I'm not even really talking about on the goal line. We can have another conversation about that. But like he does a great job of getting chunk plays of 15-yard runs, 20-yard runs. Great job of that. But it almost is like the vision and the mental processing that he has in that initial, it's like it goes away when he gets into the open field at times.
Oh, Swift?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think sometimes he almost runs to get tackled in open field.
It's really odd because he processes so quickly at the line of scrimmage, and then he gets past the front 7, and then it's like he forgets how to do that. It's weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, he's great at making people miss, but when someone gets their hands on, more often than not, they bring him down.
That's true. He didn't really have any chance there with not pass blocking.
Yeah, actually, Dan Willman just said the same thing in the chat. I see you, Dan. Eye to eye on that one.
I missed it.
He might get
nice catch.
He might try to get too cute with his route running too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To show off, you mean? Like,
well, I think he makes like too many moves.
Finesse is. Yep.
There's Pickens. Oh, another one, Pickens.
Yep. Dead leg.
Oh, there it is. Where's he at?
Ooh.
Wiggle.
What about that one, Wiggle?
That's my favorite. That's my favorite move. By the way.
Think about that one, Wiggle.
That pressure cut.
It's also my favorite name on here is Eagle.
I like.
He said it's War Eagle. That's what it stands for.
Yeah, but he said he pronounced it correctly.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, but that's what it stands for. Is War Eagle.
If you mumble War Eagle, is it Wiggle? War Eagle.
Well,
Maybe that's what it is.
Wiggle, baby, wiggle, baby, wiggle.
He's getting
baby,
so
wiggle.
much play on this right now.
I know. Like he's the 4th host.
Man,
Maybe guest host.
Definite double tap for sure. Is this Pickens with a nice? No, never mind.
Don't get me that excited. No. I mean,
Did he trip or did he give up?
Well, he got his balance and then lost his balance.
This is the
I feel
first
like.
I don't think he
got
lost it. I
touched.
think he gave up. He regained his balance. I think he gave up there.
No.
Yes, he did. Run it back. I think he gave.
He's trying to get his balance. And then
No, he gave up. I think he gave up there, and he's one of my top 2 backs, clearly for me. But that looked like he gave up.
Fuck it. We're swearing on this thing. Sorry.
Wow, apparently.
I don't give up. I don't know if you're allowed to swear on YouTube though. So.
Oh, Jared,
What?
you already know.
Pickens. Good hand fighting.
Keenan.
Hands.
Oh, dude, fighting. He's Keenan.
He's more athletic than Keenan, though.
I know. But
And he's bigger.
That's what he reminds me of. He's an inch taller.
Oh, he looks bigger.
Keenan's 6'2".
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any hair, so that makes him shorter.
All right.
Keenan's
Dude,
6'2".
held on to this one.
Yeah, he got planted.
That's
what you get for giving up. It's a nice catch, though.
I agree. Weagle said that we keep saying he should have broken this tackle or that tackle. He doesn't break as many tackles as we would like him to.
No, I agree. That's my biggest con on him.
But I think that's why he's not elite.
Mm-hmm.
he broke more of those, he'd be elite in my opinion for fantasy because he catches the football so often.
Yep.
Oh, Fromm.
Yeah, and that's really what's going to put him
Jake
at
from
the
State From.
next level. Bro, I can't believe you didn't know that was his Twitter handle.
Dude, I did not.
You just threw that out last night. That was
Wow.
funny.
Yeah. Did you guys watch him on QB1, that show?
I'm still getting through that season.
Yeah.
No, I'm through that season. I'm on the Justin Fields season. Who was on the season after the Fields season?
I don't know if I watched Fields. You mean the one before?
After Fields.
I don't know. Oh, so they be freshmen last year?
Yeah, I think
I don't
Spencer
know.
Rattler might be on it.
I watched the Spencer Rattler season though.
I think that's the newest one.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Yeah, if they were freshmen.
that's a good
That was-
show.
Yeah, it's not bad. See,
Some-
he's pretty patient. So
He
he's
is.
he's way better in space. That's why I think he could be a little bit more Kamara than anything else.
And he has really good pad level.
You guys
Yeah.
think he's a 3-down back?
Yep.
Do you?
Yep.
Okay.
I just don't know that he's going to
I'm
get.
not sold on it.
I don't know that he's going to get 200 carries.
I
Give
mean,
him
what
150 and
down would he get
60, 70
taken out
receptions.
on?
First and second.
So you think he's a third down back?
Maybe. I'm just saying maybe.
First and second.
I'm not sold on it.
So wait, why would you draft a guy in the first or early second round if you're not going to use him on first and second down?
I don't know, Garrett. That's the question.
Jared, I love you, but that is the worst take you've had on here.
Wow.
I don't know,
Jared,
man.
Jared,
I just
do
like.
you want Akers over him?
I like Swift. I do. I think he has some very good elements to his game. Like, he's an electric player. I just don't know that he's a guy you put on the field in first and second down to get you 4 carries. 4 yards a pop in line,
Well,
you know?
So here's the thing. I think that why he's rated so highly in fantasy is because we need to think about the new NFL, which is spacing, which is passing, guys that can catch, guys that can run routes, guys that can pass protect. Those are the guys that are out there often. Think of Christian McCaffrey. Did you think Christian McCaffrey was a 3-down back in the NFL when he's coming out? No. But the way people utilize these guys, or Kamara, then they're fantasy relevant. You know what I mean? It's not.
That was
It's
a
not
good
too
play to
tight
make
end.
that first guy miss. Made a little bit of something getting back to the line. Split out. Oh, ran the post route. Should have found him. All right.
Oh, look at that.
So,
Right at 11:30, Nick.
Look at that.
It's after 11:30, but whatever.
Whatever. All right. So all three, we've watched all three. Give us, Jared, we'll start with you and then we'll go to Nick. Give us your thoughts on all three. Did this move the needle on any of them at all for you from where you had them before? Was there something else you picked up on tonight that you hadn't picked up on before? Is there any movement and all that? Where are you guys at?
No movement for me, man. Coming into this, I had them in my top tier for this rookie class. They're all three
What was the
different
order?
backs stylistically. I don't know. I don't know my order right now. I'm not going to put that out there. I'll put them all in a tier. So,
That's a
tier
cop-out.
1 because
Boo! Boo!
Nah, hey man, chill out. It's all gonna be landing spot dependent with these guys anyway. Like we said,
Yeah,
from
but
the
I'm gonna go
top.
look at your
So,
tape score right now
No.
and tell everybody. who you
What
have
if
highest.
someone has a draft before the NFL draft?
based on my tape evaluations, I have Taylor first overall right now. I think Dobbins is second, and then it might be Swift second, Dobbins third. I forget, but they're all like super close for me. So it's splitting hairs, and it is going to be running back. Landing spot dependent for them. They just do different things. So didn't really leave this with my mind changed on any of them. Just kind of more solidifying anything. All good running backs, good prospects.
Nick?
Yeah, my mind changed a little bit. I just love Taylor's feet so much tonight. And no, it's not a Rex Ryan thing. So I'm gonna have Taylor number 1, and then a tier drop down. We'll just call it, or it'll be 2 and 3, I'll have Swift and then I'll have Dobbins, and they're both similar. But with fantasy, it closes the gap somewhat. But I think Taylor's just such a good pure runner that it's tough to see him not being a good fantasy asset.
So for me, if we were going NFL, I would have Taylor as probably my top. But for fantasy, he actually is behind both of these guys for me. I have Swift and Dobbins very, very close together. Just because for fantasy purposes, I don't see any real holes. I think they're good. They're either average to great in almost every category. Now, I'm not saying they're elite or they're incredible or anything like that in any category, but average to great in basically every category. And when somebody can do all of that, that's going to give me much more comfort in knowing that week in, week out, they're going to be able to produce for me. But once again, if Jonathan Taylor goes to the Colts, it's over, or something
Nelson.
like that. Oh, although they did lose their left tackle. Why am I blanking on his name? Anthony Costanzo, whatever it is.
Costanzo.
Costanzo.
George.
Yeah, he retired out of the blue, and it was like a very quiet, subtle retirement.
George Costanza.
2 years in a row.
Costanza,
Luck.
thank you.
Than him.
Yep.
So I pulled up my
so we'll see.
tape grades.
Marlon Mack next.
I pulled up my tape grades. Okay.
All right.
Just to provide some transparency for you boys. I got Taylor at 1.
Okay.
Dobbins is literally 0.05 behind him. So those guys are pretty much 1A, 1B. And then I have Swift behind him. Then I have Akers. Then I have Keyshawn Vaughn. Akers and Keyshawn Vaughn are neck and neck. And then I have Clyde Edwards-Helaire behind them. But if I were to be ranking them, I think I would put Edwards-Helaire above Akers and Vaughn.
For fantasy purposes?
Yeah, when it finally came down to it, rank them. Those are just my tape scores.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Didn't we have a tape or a show where we did Akers and Edwards-Helaire, and you were like, "Wow, Edwards-Helaire is a lot better."
Yeah, I know. But
so how do you
based on my weights that I put into different categories, that's how they came out. So, like I said, if I were to be ranking
your
them,
scales.
I would put Edwards-Helaire above them. I know, right? You gotta check them weights.
I'm messing with you. No, I know that was a good show we did though, comparing those two. I think that was really. That's why I really like this, because you can't hide a guy when you look at one guy versus another guy or three. It's tough to be like, well, yeah, that guy's better. When consistently you see this other guy's better. I do want to say one thing, and I made a tweet about this. I'm listening to this Bill Belichick book, and they talk about not getting the most talented guys for their team. They're getting the right guys, the guys that fit the locker room, that fit the scheme, etc. And that's why we don't know. Maybe one of these backs is going to go higher than another one. That doesn't mean they're the most talented. So our rankings are by talent, I think, and what we think for fantasy, not necessarily where they're going to go draft order wise. So that's why you can't always draft your rookie drafts based on the NFL drafts, because it might not be fantasy equivalent.
Yep. No, that's a great point, Nick. That's a great point. Anything else before we finish up, guys?
Any questions?
I just want to thank Weagle.
Yeah, Weagle dropped the link.
Yeah. I do want to say one thing. I know that right now, this is non-football related. I know that there's a lot of jokes and stuff like that out there, but do be careful out there. You know what I mean? With all of the scares, you know what I mean? Don't be in big crowds if you don't have to. Wash your hands, be safe. We care about you guys, so we want you and the people you care about to be safe as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
No, that was it. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
All right, fellas. Well, until next time, appreciate everybody stopping by. Thank you for coming by the stream. Make sure you follow us on Twitch. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have a Facebook group if you guys are interested in just chatting with others in the Dynasty community. We have almost 7,000 members in there. It's an open group, so just no fee or anything like that. But yeah, if you want to drop polls in there, questions, it's a great spot to do it. But yeah, until next time, we out.